Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Brev. Welcome to another MLB The Show 20 video. In this one, I'm going to be going over the hidden secret of the new finest cards and why they play above their attributes. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe for more MLB The Show 20 content. I would greatly appreciate it. I post a ton of it. Drop a like on the video, helps me out a ton. Let's dive into this secret. Now, I'm sure you clicked on this video because of the title saying that cards can get over 125 contact, and I'm going to prove to you why in this one. The reason is quirks. So quirks are on every card. However, some of them are active and some of them are descriptive. So like hitting machine, bomber, those are descriptive quirks that all cards have. They don't actually do anything in game. Quirks that do something in game are stuff like Road Warrior, Night Player, First Pitch Hitter. These, if you ever hear me refer to these as live series quirks, it comes from MLB 17, and that is where this information comes from. Just so you know, it's not just a theory. In MLB 17, we did have 99 overall live series cards, and SDS tried to make them more viable by giving only live series cards special quirks that boost their in-game performance, like Road Warrior and Night Player that you see on screen here. Other cards just had descriptive quirks because they were fun, but they don't actually do anything. Like I said, historically, only these boost quirks were on live series players until this year. So there are different card types that have these boost quirks. It's not just finest. The Player of the Month, the Tops Now, and the postseason cards all have quirks, but they're not as crazy as the finest cards because, as you can see, Juan Soto has 7 of these quirks, as someone like Corey Seager only has 2. So just to show you for comparison, a legend like Babe Ruth has many of the same descriptive quirks. Again, these don't do anything, as Juan Soto does, but if you scroll down, he doesn't have any of the active quirks, the Day Player, the Night Player, the Road Warrior, stuff like that. So many legends and flashbacks in this game don't actually get boosts that the other cards that I listed earlier do, and I will show you in game how these are boosted. It should also be mentioned that pitchers, specifically finest pitchers, also have these quirks, although pitchers have less of them because they don't get the first pitch of the at-bat and the 2-strike quirk, most notably. But you can see on screen Zach Gallen still gets Road Warrior, Day Player, and Stopper. So because we are in MLB The Show 20 and you can pick your starting pitcher and your home stadium at the same time, it's really important if you're using one of these finest pitchers to know if they're a day or night player at least. So then when you pick your stadium, you can pick day or night time, and if you land on your home stadium, then your pitcher is getting a boost. What these boosts do for pitchers is they shrink your opponent's PCI, much in the same way that the same boosts for hitters grow the PCI. There could be other underlying boosts such as K per 9 for pitchers or power for hitters that I can't objectively test in this video, so I'm only focusing on contact because we can see the inner PCI size. But these quirks may provide even more boosts than just contact. I am pretty sure it helps with power, but I can't objectively prove that to you in this video. There are also 2 hitting quirks that don't provide objective recognizable boosts, but I do believe they help. It's subjective, it's just my experience, but they are Breaking Ball Hitter and Dead Red. So Juan Soto has Breaking Ball Hitter, excels at hitting breaking balls. This is an active quirk, so I do believe you get maybe higher exit velos or more power when you make contact on a breaking ball. Maybe your timing window for good is wider. I'm not really sure what it does. I just know that it's an active quirk. Just for comparison, I'm going to show you a Tops Now player, a Player of the Month player, and a postseason card, just to show you that they have the active quirks as well, albeit not as many as some of the high tier finest cards, which again is why I think the finest cards are so insane. Here's Trey Turner. You can see Homebody, Night Player, Dead Red. This may explain why Trey Turner played above his attributes for me. Performs better when playing at home. That is active. That will increase your PCI size and maybe more. Same with Night Player. And then again, Dead Red is the opposite of Breaking Ball Hitter. Not exactly sure how that helps, but I do believe it does. Here's Fernando Tatis Jr., Player of the Month, who has a couple more. He does have First Pitch Hitter and Rally Monkey situational hitter, so this may explain why I've been raking with Fernando Tatis as well. Definitely with a card like this, you got to keep these quirks in mind as well. Like, Tatis is a wonderful player to be swinging first pitch because you're going to have a bigger PCI because of this quirk. And for postseason, here's Corey Seager. He only has Day Player and situational hitter, but it still helps for sure. So if you compare Juan Soto, who already has pretty much maxed out hitting attributes, to someone like Corey Seager, you can see how this card just immediately becomes more insane because Corey Seager only has 2 quirks. Meanwhile, Juan Soto has Road Warrior, Night Player, First Pitch Hitter, and Unfazed. So unless you have exactly 1 strike on you, you are getting at least a contact boost breaking ball hitter, rally monkey. If your team is losing, you're getting a contact boost, and situational hitter. Juan Soto has 7 active quirks, and he's not the only one. Freddie Freeman has 7 active quirks. Homebody, night player, first pitch hitter, and unfazed. Again, if you have anything but 1 strike on you, you're getting a contact and probably power boost on that pitch. He also has Dead Red, Rally Monkey, and Situational Hitter. Mookie Betts, same thing, 7 active quirks. Homebody, Night Player, First Pitch, and Unfazed. Again, Dead Red, Rally Monkey, Situational Hitter. These are especially important for guys like Freeman and Betts who have extreme splits, so if you end up taking an at-bat against your weaker side, you can play above those weak attributes with the help of these quirks. And once again, to show you for comparison, some lower tier finest cards have these quirks as well. Of course, just less of them. Here's Anthony Santander, who only has Homebody and Night Player. And so now I'm going to dive into the objective evidence of how these quirks work and how they give you a boost in-game, just so you guys can see that I'm not full of it. These quirks are actually giving you noticeable boosts in-game. So we're going to start off with Freddie Freeman, and this evidence is going to show you as well why guys like Freddie Freeman and Juan Soto, who already have 125 contact versus right, can actually play above that in game, and they can go over the maximum. So let's start with Freddie Freeman, who is in an 0-1 count against a lefty. I got all these clips from Play vs CPU on Legend. It's interesting to note that that is just my inner PCI. I turned off the outer because I wanted to focus on contact. I'm sure the outer is growing and shrinking as well. It's just easier to see on Legend with the inner PCI. So here's Freddie Freeman in an 0-1 count versus a lefty. You can see we are the road team during the day, and it's an 0-1 count. So that means Homebody is inactive for Freeman, Night Player is inactive for Freeman, and also both First Pitch Hitter and Unfazed are inactive because we're in an 0-1 count. So we have no active quirks before this pitch is thrown, and you can see the size of my PCI. Now we're going to mouse over to something different. Same pitcher, but now we're in a 1-2 count. So all that's active is Unfazed. You can see if you focus on my mouse, and if you're on desktop, I would recommend going full screen, or if you're on mobile, full screen, so you can see where my mouse is. It's right here. It's on the right side of the PCI, right in the middle. So you can see when we go from an 0-1 count to a 1-2 count against the same pitcher, our PCI is growing pretty significantly. It is pretty small to see like on the picture, but that's a pretty significant boost, especially considering that this is on Legend difficulty, and your PCI is tiny to begin with. So you can immediately see that Unfazed is boosting the size of your PCI and therefore boosting your contact. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it boosts your power and other things as well. There's just no way for me to show that in this video, so we're going to stick with contact. But you can immediately see how just going from an 0-1 count to a 1-2 count, now the size of our PCI is bigger. So going off of that, we went 1 up pretty much. We activated Unfazed for Freeman, and that's why our PCI grew by that much. Now we're going to go a step further, and we're still going to be on the road, but instead it's going to be a night game, and it's going to be the first pitch of the at-bat. So we're going to have 2 active quirks with Freeman in this one. We're going to have Night Player active, and we're going to have First Pitch Hitter active. You can see the size of the PCI once again growing compared to the mouse. So where the mouse is sitting is where it was with no active quirks boosting him. So back here, that's the middle of the right side of the PCI. With 1 active quirk, we grow to there, and with 2 active quirks, we grow to here. So that's a pretty significant change as well. Keep in mind, once again, this is Freddie Freeman against a lefty on Legend, so this is 86 contact, which is why his PCI is so small. When we move to right-handed pitching, it's going to be a much bigger PCI, but you want to compare those together with each other. And just for comparison, once again, when we go from first pitch of the at-bat to an 0-1 count, now our PCI is shrinking with Freeman. You can see from a 0-0 count to a 0-1 count, our PCI gets smaller. So now let's look at Freeman against a right-handed pitcher when Freeman has maxed out contact 125 for his attributes. So obviously our PCI is way bigger. So far it's just because we're facing a righty now. This is live series Luis Severino on the mound, by the way, and he will be the pitcher for all these pictures just to keep it consistent. But once again, we're on the road during the day. So the only thing that's active right here is First Pitch Hitter, so we only have 1 active quirk versus Severino here. We go to an 0-1 count and our PCI shrinks. Let me show you that again. Our mouse, again, right here is in the middle of the right side of the PCI. I hope you guys can see this. And when we take a strike, our PCI shrinks because we no longer have First Pitch Hitter active. And if we go to an 0-2 count, then it goes back to normal. So we have one active quirk again. So now let's look at multiple active quirks, which is Freeman at home and now at night, which is 2 active quirks against the same pitcher. You can see the difference in PCI. If we go from the 0-1 count on the road during the day, that's where my mouse is, in the middle of the right side of the PCI. If we go then activate 2 quirks, which is Homebody night player, by playing a home game at nighttime. Whoops, I went the wrong way. That's what happened. Alright, so we're here, then we activate 2 quirks, actually 3 quirks are active here, Homebody, night player, and first pitch hitter. You can see the difference in size of our PCI is very noticeable. 3 active quirks here, 0 active quirks here. I hope this is coming through for you guys. And once again, just to show you guys that it shrinks after we take the first pitch of the at-bat, here is our 3 active quirks for Freeman in an 0-0 count. When we go to an 0-1 count, our PCI once again shrinks. So take advantage of that first pitch hitter and unfazed quirks. Swinging in 1-strike counts with these finest cards could definitely not be the move. And if we go to 0-2, we're right back to where we were boosted before. So now let's get to the more exciting one, which is Juan Soto, and why I'm going to prove to you that you can go over 125 contact with these cards. So Juan Soto has Road Warrior night player and of course both first pitch hitter and unfazed. So no quirks are active for Juan Soto right now. We have just the 125 contact versus right that he has on his card. Because we're in an 0-1 count, we're at home, and it's during the day. Therefore, we don't have Road Warrior, night player, first pitch hitter, or unfazed active. None of those are active. When we move to, I'm pretty sure the next picture is just boosting everything. Yeah, you can see the massive difference in the PCI size. That is just very noticeable. And keep in mind, this is on Legend, so it's going to be even more noticeable on Hall of Fame and All-Star even. So we go from no active quirks to now, I believe, 3 active quirks. Now we're on the road at night in a 2-strike count. So we have Road Warrior, night player, and unfazed active. And you can see the difference in the PCI size is very noticeable between these 2 pictures. I mean, it's growing a lot. The strike zone is only like so big, and so you're taking up, I don't know, maybe you're growing maybe 1/10 of the width of the strike zone from these quirks, which is obviously very helpful. And so now for the final picture, the juicy stuff, I'm going to prove to you why Juan Soto in this picture with 3 active quirks is playing above 125 contact in game. You can see once again my mouse is in the middle of the right side of the PCI. I'm now going to arrow over to Babe Ruth, who has no active quirks but also 125 contact versus right, and watch what happens to the PCI. It shrinks. Babe Ruth's 125 contact versus right produces a smaller PCI than Juan Soto's 125 contact versus right with 3 active quirks. So therefore, we can objectively say in game that because of these quirks, Juan Soto has more than 125 contact when these quirks are active. So that's why it's very important to play around these quirks, to know what quirks your guys have and to use them in game. Just for one final shot here too, I'm going to move my mouse to the middle of the left side of the PCI just for a different perspective, and you can see the difference between Juan Soto and Babe Ruth's PCI here. So watch the left side of the PCI. We go from Juan Soto with 3 active quirks to Babe Ruth with no active quirks, and you can see the PCI is objectively smaller. So what does all this information mean? It means that these finest cards with a ton of active quirks are going to play well above their attributes in the specific instances where they are active. So I'm not saying fill your lineup with all day players or all night players, but just be cognizant of the quirks that your best players have, specifically the big 3 that I went over in this video: Soto, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman. They all have both first pitch hitter and unfazed, so I think it's really important with those cards to either swing first pitch or wait until 2 strikes, because you are getting objective contact and maybe power boosts thanks to these quirks. So I hope this video made sense. I hope it was helpful for you guys. Friendly reminder to subscribe to the channel, please. Again, it helps me out a ton. And drop a like on the video. Drop a comment down below if you have any questions or concerns. I will try my hardest to respond to comments on this video specifically, because I know it can be kind of a confusing / controversial topic. But with that being said, I greatly appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for sticking with me through this one. I love all you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.